Hey guys, so the second closed beta of Honkai Star Rail just ended yesterday as of recording this video. I wanted to go over some feedback I have for the game, like some things I've noticed while playing, and then go over like what's next for the future. So I'm not doing like a full overview impression of the game or anything. I think if you're looking for something like that, you should look elsewhere, because I'm just gonna go over like a couple things that I noticed, things I want to talk about that I noticed while playing the game. So first we'll go over my feedback, and then after that we'll talk about some things going forward now that like I don't have access to the game anymore, and what that means for like the future. Alright? Cool. So I just have a couple notes here, not in any particular order, by the way. I think the biggest thing for me while playing through the beta is I think that there needs to be more clarity with things. Clarity with both abilities and with like terms and stuff, both for just like for people that are curious and for new players maybe that haven't played like any games like Honkai Star Rail, like any turn-based games yet. Some examples of that would be, not only should there be like definitions, but I think there should be like explanations on how things work as well. I know we'll eventually have like a wiki or something, but I think that there should still be a resource in game for certain things. So for example, like speed, right? Like how does speed work? Because speed is a flat number, and how does that affect characters in game? I recently saw a really cool video that someone went in depth and explored, so like they figured out how speed works. I'll link that down below because it's honestly pretty useful. But it should be in the game, you know, like you should be able to see like how the speed number works, how it affects your characters, how it affects the turn order, stuff like that. Because it's not like a one-to-one thing really. It's kind of wonky. Another thing is just like how percentages are applied. Another example that comes to mind is like effect hit rate. So some abilities have a base hit chance, and then you have like your additional stats like effect hit rate on top of that. So like, I don't know, in the resource you're like, how does effect hit rate work, right? So you go, and because there's a difference, right? One player might think that effect hit rate is like a percentage that's added on top of the base chance, and then one player might think that effect hit rate is like a % increase of the base chance, right? And that's a pretty big difference, right? If you have a 60% base chance, for example, and you have a 50% effect hit rate, right? One player think, oh, it's 110% effect hit rate. On the other hand, if the base chance is 60%, and then one player thinks 50% effect hit rate is like a 50% increase, then they would think that the effect hit rate is 90%. So 110% versus 90%, it's a, you know, just an example, but it's a difference. I just think a glossary or some kind of index or resource or something in game for how terms work and how they affect each other would be cool. For some of the abilities, I think that explanation has been sacrificed to save space, so that like it's not as much text to read. So that could be expanded upon as well. I found some abilities to be confusing while looking through, and I had to record in 1x speed and test and slow down things to figure out how abilities work, because the text didn't explain it well, or I interpret it as working a different way. Alright, next thing are the light cone stats. The light cone stats are kind of weird. You have your overall character stats, and then you have your light cone stats, right, which are like additional stats. And I can't look now, obviously, because I don't have access to the game anymore, but your light cone stats give you extra like attack, HP, defense, or whatever, and I think those are added in your character stats. But each light cone, right, when you resonate the path with the character, they have additional stats at the end, like that green text. And these stats aren't added to your overalls, and I think that's a little weird. And I think I know why, because so some light cones have abilities where the stat increase is like temporary, right, like off of contingent on something happening or adding stacks or something. But then some light cones have like base increase stats, and they're not added in your character stats, so it's like hard to tell. Like if you have a light cone, right, and it's just plus 20% crit rate, it won't be in your crit rate, or it won't show up in your crit rate. I think it's kind of weird. I think they should, I understand why it's not there, but I think they should have like a separate column, like with versus without light cone stats, right? Because I don't know, it'd just be kind of cool. it's not like a huge deal, right? You can just look at your light cone and verify what your extra stats are, but I still think that you should be able to see your character with your additional light cone stats added. Alright, next are the similarities to Genshin. So there's a lot of similar systems in the game that you'll see, and I think if you played Genshin before, you'll adapt really fast. But adapt, pick it up, it's not that big of a deal, it's not that serious. I just mean that like you'll recognize things as things from Genshin. You'll be like, oh, this is that, right? Like the Forgotten Hall, right? Your like travel log book thing, resin, artifact, stuff like that. So I think you'll notice things and adapt quickly, but also I think you might be disappointed with some of the systems, right? Like we have the main two things are we have resin equivalents and we have artifact equivalents. And I don't think many people will be happy with that. I've never personally, like I haven't done like crazy amount of grinding for artifacts in Genshin, but like still it's not fun, you know? And I know they haven't done this in Genshin, right? But like for the relic system, if they want to make it like the easiest thing they could do, I'm sure someone said this before, I'm sure someone has, right? Or just take out the flat stat rolls as main stats, right? No one wants a flat attack when you get an attack percentage, right? I know like flat stats can be more useful early game, but also early game doesn't really matter. You just like use whatever artifacts you have and you just use them until you can farm good ones, right? It's not like a huge deal. I know they won't do it, but they could remove the main flat stat rolls from the relics if they really wanted to. And then you take 3 out of the pool and then have a higher chance to get any other main stat. I do like the shop system, right? I like how you can, there are like set characters. There's gonna be a rotation and like set characters in the store like each month or whatever the time frame is. So you'll be able to get I forget the name of the currency, but like after you do your pulls, you get the currency and then you can buy characters if you don't have them yet. So that's kind of cool. I like that system. Lastly, upgrading relics is clumsy. Like you can't inspect the relic when you're adding it to another one. So you can't like view the stats of it. So you'd have to like go back, lock all the ones you want to keep, and then you know that you can use the other ones. So hopefully for release they add like inspect screen so you can like click on it and see, but right now it does nothing. Because you know, you don't want to get rid of any good relics accidentally, right? So obviously we only have 2 planets right now, or not really 2 planets, we have 2 areas. We have like the space station and Yorilla 6 right now, and we just had another planet or area revealed at Summer Games Fest. So obviously we're going to be expanding that way, but it seems like the game is going to be very event based like Genshin as well. We have permanent modes like the Simulated Universe and the Forgotten Hall, so that's cool, but it seems like there'll be a lot of events as well. Overall, I enjoyed the game thoroughly. I didn't really like that there was an auto mode to like auto your way through fights and stuff, but I realized that it's more for like autoing your materials and stuff and low level stuff, and that you actually have to use your brain power to get through some of the more difficult things, because it's not just about spamming your abilities and going through. Like there's actually a decent amount of strategy, which, you know, is cool for a turn-based game, right? So yeah, I like the combat. It's pretty cool. I hope it doesn't get too stale. I'm excited to see the characters we have in the future. I want to know what the pity count is, right? Because I've been able to play with all the 5 stars and I want all of them, you know, but I plan on playing free to play, so I don't think I'll be able to get them all. So that's unfortunate. Also, I want to see the 5-star guarantee stay on the beginner banner. I think that's a good change to the beginner banner from Genshin. Every player being guaranteed a 5-star is pretty cool. I think they should keep that. That's a good change. That's all I really have to say on the beta, honestly. That's like it for my feedback. If you want to, you're good. I'm just gonna like ramble about like stuff that literally no one asked about, by the way. So, okay, very good. So, don't have access to the game anymore, obviously, so I can't record anything in game. I have recorded footage of every character and all their abilities and kits and stuff, and their 8-on levels and everything. So I'm still gonna make like overview videos on each character's kit and everything. I just can't test them out in game anymore extensively, which kind of sucks. So if I hit a snag and like I don't understand how something works, then I probably just won't make a video on it, because I don't think that's fair. But moving forward, I'm gonna try to finish a video for every character to like just like an overview of what their kit does. If there's any news on Honkai Star Rail, I'm going to be covering that in the future. And I'm also looking towards other games as well that I plan on covering, like mainly Zenless Zone Zero. There's some other games that are on my radar, like Tower of Fantasy, Blue Protocol, stuff like that. I also saw a new game called Wuthering Waves, but that's not till like next year anyway, so we'll see what happens. I look forward to Honkai Star Rail release. I hope there isn't another beta. Hope we just go to release. I hope we get the beta of Zenless Zone Zero soon. I hope it's not under NDA. That would be cool. Also, I don't think anyone's still watching at this point, but thanks for 100 subs. That's pretty freaking cool, dude. Considering all my videos are like insanely scuffed. But otherwise, that's about it. So let me know what you thought about the beta, if you have been watching it or if you've been playing it. Curious to see what you guys think, because I have no friends that play the beta or played the beta, so I'm all alone. I plan to keep making videos because I enjoy it. Hopefully the quality of my videos will become less scuffed over time as I get better at editing and stuff like that. But yeah, thanks for watching, and see you in the next one.